Hello everyone, how you going? And welcome back to Awful Taste but Great Execution. Now obviously this subreddit is just renowned for kind of leaving you in two minds. You don't know whether to kind of be impressed because of what these people have made or just kind of, I don't even know what, but just offended in some regard. But anyway, let's jump straight into it, shall we? So then starting right off with stuff everyone's eyes but mine. Whoa, hang on a second, I had no idea what I was looking at, but I can only assume that that is a welding helmet. Wow, someone has actually gone to some serious effort to do that, haven't they? To be able to stick every individual mirror on all over it, it would just actually take quite a while. I mean, I must say, from the welding helmets that I've seen, that looks like one out of the, I don't know, the 60s, the 40s, kind of looks like an old school diving suit if nothing else. But no, that thing is just insane. The fact that you're just going to be welding going, oh, look, I'm fine, but everyone else is going to be going, God, as well. And just the fact that it's going to be flashing every little time you move your head around, it is just going to be sending that super intense bright light just everywhere. Like nowhere will be safe regardless of whether you have welding curtains up or even if you're just in a brick room. Honestly, I feel as though someone is just going to cop it in the eye regardless of where you are at. So right off the bat, like I said, I don't know whether to be offended at the fact that someone has actually made that and gone and put the effort into doing it, or just kind of go, well, I guess it's cool, because the entire thing has been done so well. I mean, I would love to know if they actually put on the head strap as well, because, you know, if you're going to do it, you might as well do all of it. But no, the fact that you're just turning your head into a mirror ball is just absolutely insane. Like, honestly, I feel as though this is the kind of welding helmet that they predicted the future would be like back in the 60s or something, but you actually think about it, you go, no, that is certainly not a very good idea to be making, especially if you need a little bit of help just holding something or getting something into position. Just no one is going to want to be around you at all. And so as fabulous as this entire thing is and as well done as it is at the same time, it just is so not practical at all. And also I'm kind of realizing, or just I don't know if I'm not seeing or the image isn't showing, but at the same time it does not seem as though there's any actual kind of welding glasses in there. And so I am just wondering if the glasses in the background are actually being used as the welding goggles, which is in no way the right thing to be doing. You know, they don't block out anything. And so if that is the case, that is just ridiculous, because you're obviously not protecting yourself. You're obviously trying to harm a whole bunch of people just using mirrors, or just to look like you're going to be the next member of Daft Punk or something. I've been waiting for this Tuesday all week. Behold, a friend of a friend's tram stamp. So that is absolutely disgusting. What is going on there? Why is this person thought it was going to be a good idea to get that? Like, I can even understand the words, but in that font, if you can even call it that anymore, that is just absolutely horrible. And the size as well. Oh God, this one is definitely just blowing the last one out of the water in terms of how offensive it is. I just feel actually personally attacked. Not that I even have any tattoos, but something about it just makes me go, oh, it just puts me off it. Because even though everything that we are looking at here is just absolutely disgusting, at the same time I just don't understand why you would get in that font. Like, it doesn't make sense. Usually if you are getting those words, you're kind of doing it in a nice fashion, not to kind of have lightning or branches, or I don't even know what you'd call that, but it certainly does not look inviting in the slightest. And to be honest, it kind of just opposes what those three words are talking about. But geez, even though it obviously goes across the lower back, at the same time, every single time I see anything just tattooed over the spine, I just feel like, oh God, that must hurt so much. And so to go through all that pain to have that as the end result just doesn't make sense to me. And so no, not for me in the slightest. I mean, I must admit, it does make me wonder where someone got the idea to do this, because I cannot imagine that that is kind of one of the template ones up on the wall at a tattoo parlor. Because like I said, generally if anyone is going to be getting those three words, they're meaning it in a nice way, and this just does not convey niceness at all. And so to be honest, the more I look at it, the more I just kind of feel sad for this person, because I just cannot understand why anyone would actually think that that is going to be a good idea, especially in the long term, to be having on their back, I guess. I mean, I guess thinking about it, maybe that's why they said it's a friend of a friend, you know, like likely story, they're just a little bit of ashamed of the tattoo that they got when they were drunk, more like it. So yeah, really, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm just feeling pain when I see something like this, regardless of the fact that it obviously would have hurt when you got it, but just the entire thing, like, you just would have to get in the mirror and go, why the hell did I get that? Besides the entire thing just not making sense, it looks ugly. And so yeah, obviously we've been blessed in a way in terms of this Awfultastebutgreatexecution, execution, but man, I just kind of wish I didn't see it. This wedding cake from Dubai, which reportedly cost $1 million. Whoa, actually, I can understand why it'd be expensive. I feel as though $1 million might be a little bit steep, but that is one hell of a cake. And to be honest, I don't even really know where the awful taste comes into it. I mean, I guess if the cake doesn't taste very good, then that's where it come into it. But to be honest, even though it is definitely kind of a niche and random thing, I don't really feel as though it's awful taste, and it's definitely great execution. I mean, like I said, $1 million just seems absolutely astronomical for something like this. I feel as though if you just went to a really professional cake baker, they could probably do it for, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000, I don't know how much a cake costs, but nowhere near $1 million. I mean, unless this has actually been decorated with something that comes from an asteroid or who knows what, but either way, there is no way that it would actually cost $1 million. I mean, I guess in a way it is Dubai, and so maybe they just know their clientele too well to charge any lower than that. You know, at that point, they can basically just name the price and people go, yeah, sure, whatever, it's just a wedding cake. But no, if the lady on the left is the baker that actually made this, you got to give props to that. I mean, I can only actually assume there would probably be a team of people, because there is no way that one person would be able to make a cake like that, or not in a decent time frame if nothing else. But either way, regardless of whether one person made it, a team made it, or the entire world made it, you got to give them credit, because that is one hell of a cake. I'd love to know if those flowers have been real or they're actually edible. I mean, I can probably only assume, but you'd hope for $1 million that they're edible. And I guess speaking of, I wouldn't even know where to start in terms of just cutting starting it? Do you start from the bottom and kind of just get that little bit of a skirt going, or do you start from the top and just take the head off, or maybe you just even just crack a finger off? Who knows? I guess for $1 million you certainly do buy yourself some options, but no, the entire thing really, I guess I just don't feel as though it can actually be $1 million. And if it is $1 million, or the fact that it has been stated as being $1 million, is more so I think why people are saying it's an awful taste. You know, like I said, unless it actually does taste bad, I feel as though people are actually just more gawky and offended at the fact that there's $1 million for a cake, let alone anything else. I mean, I guess looking at it, it does seem to be the entire bride, and so hey, if that ring is real, then maybe that's where the extra price comes from. Whoever baked these actually went out and got a replica ring for the price of the cake, and so then I can kind of understand, because I can only imagine that looking at the size of that, it'd be a fairly hefty price tag for a diamond. But look, in saying that, I would actually like to propose an offer. You know, I feel as though I can just slash the price in half. I'll learn to bake cakes, I'll learn to do all of these kind of just crazy fondant and all those things, and I'll deliver it for $500,000. I feel as though that's a pretty good deal. And to be honest, I would be absolutely over the moon with that deal. You know, let's say it takes me 5 years to kind of learn all the skills to be able to do this. Really, that's $100,000 a year, and so I'm not complaining in the slightest. But if there is anybody out there that actually just wants a cake like this, well then sure, just hit me up. I'm sure I can deliver something that you'll be pleased with, and it won't cost anywhere near as much as this. I mean, if you do need it within the next couple of months or even the next couple of days, then I might struggle to kind of deliver that, and I might have to outsource it to a decent person. But other than that, I'm sure I can deliver something you'll be pleased with. This dress. Whoa, hang on a second. What are we looking at? That almost looks like a Dementor's hand or something. God, it's creepy. I mean, I guess in the world of fashion, this certainly isn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but oh man, it definitely just, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I mean, of course, it's the entire point of the design, but just the fact that it's so hand-like, but so skeletal at the same time, you know, and it's not like 4 fingers on either side or anything. It's just like one hand just kind of wrapped in, I don't even know what the fabric would be. Is it leather or what? But either way, oh god, it's creepy. And maybe I'm being swayed because we just came off $1 million wedding cake, but I would love to know how much this dress cost, because I would be fairly confident in saying that it wouldn't be cheap, if anything. I mean, I have no idea how much this kind of fashion would go for, but like I said, not cheap. Also, I would love to know how it works in terms of actually going around the back. Like, do you have to kind of clip it up? Does it slide over your head? Just what actually happens at the back to kind of attach, or is it actually just rigid enough? Because if that's rigid enough, you can kind of bend it and then put it back. That's creepy. It's basically a puppet at that point, and realistically, it's just something out of Coraline then. So yeah, overall, I feel as though someone should just check on the designer, because they are obviously not right in the head, if nothing else. You're like, I'm sure they're making plenty of money, but to design something like that, you definitely have to have something going on up there. And in saying that, I would like to see the rest of the dress to see if they got inspired anywhere else, but really that hand just around the neck, there is something just wrong about it, isn't there? But hey, in saying that, I guess someone is wearing it regardless of whether they're a model or not. At the same time, I'm sure there is a market out there for someone that would actually be looking for something like this, regardless of whether it's going to be a dress-up party or just actually for a formal occasion. I mean, I guess probably not too formal, but really, I'm sure there is someone out there that goes, yes, that is a thing. And so in that regard, I don't really even know that you can call it that awful taste. It is just kind of fashion these days, because everybody is always trying to push the boundaries with fashion, or I guess if nothing else, just try not to copy the last person. And hey, I feel as though if you're the first person to make this, you're not going to have many people copying you. So even though we have kind of under the broad umbrella 2 dress posts in the row, I feel as though they both kind of come out of the fact that they're not awful, they're just kind of niche, and they're definitely being executed well. An interesting house being built in my hometown in Bulgaria. Oh, they've gone for the old upside down. Would you look at that? I mean, it's definitely interesting. And also, I've just noticed that the people that are building it also put their logos upside down. That is actually cool. I would like that, because, you know, if I'm going to go to all the effort of building my house upside down, or at least getting them to build it, I certainly want their side to kind of play along with the entire thing. But no, it is definitely interesting. And the fact that they've even gone through and put a car on the ceiling, that is absolutely commitment, isn't it? You got to give them that, if nothing else. I mean, I can only imagine that it isn't a real bug, or if nothing else, the entire insides are being completely stripped out. But no, the entire thing is definitely kind of interesting, I guess is the right word to be using, isn't it? Really, if nothing else, it just piques my curiosity about what the insides are like, because, well, if that's what the outside's like, I hope they fully committed and did the outside as well. Or maybe you actually just kind of want it to be a little bit TARDIS-like in terms of just what the outside looks like compared to what the inside looks like. If they did that, it would just honestly be such a juxtaposition where you're walking from the outside, which is upside down, to suddenly inside, and where things are just right way around, you wouldn't know what to think anymore. But hey, if nothing else, you have to give credit to the architects, because they have clearly delivered a product that works quite well in terms of, I can only imagine it'd be quite difficult to get all the foundations right. You know, you have to be able to just structurally support this entire bit here just over nothing, you know, it's just completely elevated. And so I can only imagine there was quite a lot of steel involved in this build. I mean, for me, it definitely stops there, because this is nothing that I would ever build. It's definitely not my taste, but you have to give credit where credit's due in terms of just an overall design. And also, in saying that, I feel as though once again we kind of just have a little bit more of a niche thing. You know, it definitely wouldn't be for everyone, but there is definitely some people out there clearly that actually like the style and want to build a house like this. It is that simple, you know. And I certainly don't feel as though it's offensive to the eyes or anything like that. Nothing to compare to the tattoo that we saw before. No, the entire thing, as though it's different, is just kind of what it is. It is literally just an upside down house, and so even though it might melt your brain a little bit, you go, why? Because it probably costs a hell of a lot to do. But at the same time, if that is how someone wants to be spending their money, just having an upside down house, you know, it's kind of just a Wizard of Oz kind of thing. Or maybe even just some Alice in Wonderland. Either way, we definitely described it as interesting and not hideous, and so I feel as though on the scale it definitely has to be more hideous to be awful taste. I mean, in saying that, I would like to see it in a few months when they actually have the gardens in, because I have no idea how they're going to be doing those if they want any kind of gardens and greenery around the house. And to be honest, considering some of the most award-winning buildings in the world are kind of upside down random things that end up being museums, then really I feel as though if someone wants to do a house in the same way, you can't blend them too much. Like I said, it might not be for you, and it probably isn't for most people. At the same time, if you've got the money and you want to spend it on something unique, then that is definitely way to be going about it. I just have no words. What are we going to have? Oh my goodness. I mean, it's kind of funny than at least a love-hate whatever it was, but no, that is just ridiculous. I mean, if nothing else, I have to give credit to the tattoo artist because that has been done well, and really thinking about it, I feel as though that is why the other one that was so offensive to the eyes, because it just looked horrible at the same time. You know, at least this one has a little bit of color involved. The other one was just just black solid text. It was disgusting. And also I guess I can kind of appreciate it because it is a lot more unique, and like the other one was definitely unique in a way, but just the fact that they got the 3 standard words, where this one I've never seen anything like that before. Even just the fact that it has a kind of 3D effect and it looks like a patch on the skin, like that has been well done by that artist. And on top of all of that, obviously this person is kind of making the joke about pineapple on pizza and all those things, so they've actually kind of thought about it and gone the extra mile and then actually got a decent one, where in comparison to the other one it just isn't even comparable. I mean, I'm definitely not saying that it's not awful taste, but you got to give them some credit. At least they're unique in this situation, not just ugly like the last one was. Because really, if someone saw that is definitely going to be a conversation starter, where if someone saw the other one, that is definitely going to be a conversation ender. You know, they're just not going to want to see you again with this one. They're like, oh, well, you know, pineapple on pizza, you might disagree, you might not, but you can at least appreciate the time and effort and thought that has gone into it, besides just having whatever the other 3 words were. I've actually tried to delete it from my memory already. And I'm certainly not saying that the last tattoo artist would not be able to do the same thing, but really the detail and perfection, all the textures of it, it's just impressive. And so you have to give it to them. They've definitely nailed the well executed part of the entire thing, because really they have done it so well to the point where they're actually kind of just scratching it, showing that it's not a patch just kind of placed on the skin. No, it's actually been tattooed onto someone. And so yeah, the entire thing has been well done. And like I said, regardless of where you stand on the entire debate of pineapple on pizza, that is certainly the more pineapple on pizza that I'm sure more people could probably get behind. And so perhaps that is actually going to be where the awful taste comes into it the most. You know, when it starts to fade, what is it going to look like? And really, is it just going to ruin the entire piece, or will it actually be able to stand up to the test of time? That will be the question, because maybe in a couple of years you'd see that and go, oh, that definitely isn't very good anymore. Or hey, maybe people are just saying that it's awful taste because they just don't like the taste of pineapple on pizza, or don't even think that it belongs there. Either way, you have to give the artist credit, and you have to give the person some ingenuity if nothing else, because like I said, I've never seen anything like it, and I really don't feel as though we probably ever will, because that is just one of a kind right there. And so now finally, for the top of the month for awful taste but great execution, we have my friend went to a wedding where they had a guy handing out Martini olives in a bathtub full of olives. Wow, okay then, I don't even know where to start, but that is a hell of a lot going on here. So there's a guy in a bathtub, like I'm just trying to even process the entire thing. The guy's in a bathtub just handing out the olives that are just surrounding him. I mean, geez, I can only assume that those olives alone would have been quite expensive, let alone the guy in the bathtub that I can only assume we've been paying a fairly hefty amount for. But no, that is just so weird. You know, I don't even feel as though it is really that awful taste. It is just very strange. I mean, I guess maybe that's what awful taste can kind of come under, but no, it's just weird. I mean, I'm not sure about anyone else, but I don't know how confident or just comfortable I'd be with eating a whole bunch of olives out of a Martini glass that has come out of a bathtub with a guy in it. That entire scene is just ridiculous. But no, like, what is going on in this photo? Why are there flowers there as well? Is he meant to fill up a Martini glass with the olives and then put a flower in it, like a, I don't know, an umbrella in a Martini or a cocktail as well? Or like, what's going on here? The entire thing is so strange. Why is he just out on the grass as well? He's not indoors, it seems. I mean, I guess looking in the background, he might be in a tent, but that's at best. And also, I would like to know just how many olives went by the end of the night. Did people get drunk enough where they went, stuff it, I'm having all the olives, or did everyone just kind of have their wits about them the entire night, so they went, no, I would rather not just kind of touch that. Because like I said, if nothing else, besides the fact that it was very random, those olives would have cost a lot of money, so you would certainly hope that they're going to be eaten if nothing else. Or hey, perhaps that just explains the entire situation here. I don't really understand the guy, and I can never begin to explain that, but the reason they got them in the bathtub is so any olives that didn't get eaten, they can actually just take home. And I guess that certainly makes sense in that regard, but like I said, why is there a guy involved in the entire thing? It's just strange. I mean, he's got a nice smile, I guess, and so hey, it's a welcoming grin. I mean, I'm sure if you just kind of tilted his head down a little bit more, it might become a little bit creepy, but I guess that happens to everyone. Or hey, who knows, maybe this person didn't even realize there was a guy in the bathtub and he's actually just hates the taste of olives, so that could certainly just be where the awful taste comes from. Because to be honest, even though I have absolutely no idea where a post like this belongs, I feel as though it almost doesn't belong on this sub at all. You know, it is very strange, it is very out there, it is very random and very niche, virtually everything of all the other posts that we've had before, but just not really that awful taste if you ask me. But anyway, that is going to do it for the top of the month for awful taste but great execution, so thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to do the YouTube algorithmic things down below and let me know if you had a favorite post out of any of these. Other than that, we check out awesome posts posts all over Reddit, so make sure you check some of the other videos out now. Or hey, maybe you even just want to consider subscribing so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.